I want to welcome you guys to this class here tonight. It's fun that we're able, at least to be able to attend workshops and classes and things like that online. I'm kind of starting to get really into this routine of meeting people online. I kind of really like it now. I know I don't want it to be my normal forever, but my normal for right now is really pretty cool. So I want to thank you. Like I said, this is essential oils made easy. So the stuff that we'll talk about in tonight's class is really baseline or foundational information. So regardless of where you're coming at us from, you're going to learn something tonight. So if you've been using essential oils for a while, you're certainly going to be able to add a few little key pieces of information, or just feel like maybe you know doTERRA a little bit better. And if you're new to the world of essential oils completely, then this is going to be a really nice sort of eye-opening lesson. We're going to stay right on track. In fact, by 8 o'clock, you will be making tea and sitting down to watch whatever it is that you watch at 8 o'clock, or read a book, or hang out with your kids, or whatever it is that you do. We'll have everything all wrapped up for you. So glad that you could make it here tonight and just carve out a little bit of time. My name's Rebecca, and I've been doing doTERRA now for, it's almost 6 years. Like coming up this summer, it'll be 6 years. And I love every single time people gather to learn about the oils, because I find every audience comes with a unique perspective, and we all come wanting to take away something different as well. So that encourages interesting conversation and direction. So no two classes are really ever the same, and that's actually one of the things I love most about it. I'm the mom of 3, and all of my kids are oilers. They range in age from 14 to 8. So I have a 14-year-old boy, I have an 11-year-old boy, and I have an 8-year-old girl. And they beg me, especially the 8-year-old girl begs me if she can teach these classes. And I sometimes wonder, based on the information and the experiences that they have had, what that would actually sound like. So stay tuned in the future, because we may in fact do some kind of kids class and let them just take it away, because they do in fact know a whole lot. But most of the things, the experiences that I will reference are based on, I guess, experiments. My kids have been my guinea pigs. I've tried different things with them and I've seen the results. So I feel like I'm able to speak from a really confident place. I have a lot of certainty in using the oils. So don't hesitate to ask any questions, okay? My main goal, like I said, though, is to keep this foundational. While we can spin off in a lot of different directions, the next 40 minutes or so will be really directed at the most basic elements of using essential oils, and particularly of doTERRA. I will know that I've done a really good job if at the end of this, by the time you're sitting down at 8 o'clock to do whatever you do, if you have learned 3 cool things about essential oils, and you know the 3 amazing ways that you can use the oils, because my guess is up until this point you've probably known about 2 of the key ways to use essential oils, and might have even been advised against the 3rd way that we're going to talk about. So we'll do that, and then we'll talk about 3 ways that you can get started with doTERRA in particular that really maximizes value, especially right now. We're in the midst of a really great week in terms of promotional activity and value with doTERRA. So stay tuned and we'll talk about all of that. Let's get down to the 3 cool things about essential oils, because I think that's where people really start to connect with the idea of using the oils. And that we'll kick it off first with what I believe, and what I think everyone believes, is that knowing that doTERRA oils are 100% safe and natural is the first cool thing about these oils. So when I say that they're 100% safe and natural, I really mean that. So I want you to know that we're talking about safe to use on babies, toddlers, kids of any age, adults, and the elderly, people who we would normally see fall under that umbrella of sensitive. You can use essential oils with them. Now, when we get into talking about how to use the oils, that's where you'll want to pay really close attention to that for those sensitive people, because there are a few key safety measures that you want to make sure that you take. But you can use them on everyone. It's really pretty great. There are no side effects and no addictions associated with using therapeutic grade essential oils. What they are basically is extracts from plant life. So it can come from the bark of a tree, it can come from stems, blossoms, the leaves of a plant. It just depends on the plant that we're talking about, but that's where the essential oil comes from. So it's really pretty fascinating when you think about it. We are harnessing what the plant uses as its defense in nature. We're able to harness that and use it to boost our health and wellness. So that immunity that that plant uses is now being made available to us in the form of essential oils. It's really important for you to know a few things when we talk about the safety of essential oils and the natural way we're able to source them. They're extremely powerful. So that's why safety is such an issue when you start talking about essential oils. So I want to give you a little bit of flavor around that. And I want you to think about if you've ever broken off like a little piece of a peppermint leaf or something and just chewed on that. You definitely get the aroma of the peppermint leaf and you get the flavor of that. And it's somewhat mild. It ranges, I know. But if you were to put a drop of doTERRA's peppermint essential oil, your experience would be very, very different. That is because essential oils are 50 to 70 times more potent than their herbal counterpart. So I always love this part. Whenever we're together in a classroom setting, the peppermint comes out, we take the lid off of it and we pass it around because I want you to experience what I just said. What does it actually feel like to get that peppermint in your mouth? So if you can imagine us passing it around, I'd have you put a single drop of peppermint in the palm of your hand. I gotta sneeze. Oh, and of course it goes away. I'd have you put it in the palm of your hand, and then I'd have you dip your index finger into that drop and swipe it on the roof of your mouth. So if you have doTERRA peppermint, feel free to go ahead and try that. What you'll notice right away is it opens up your sinuses. Like you start to notice the effects immediately. That's how potent it is. You don't have to wait for your body to respond to it. The sinuses open up. Your mouth is completely filled with the flavor and the aroma. It has a very, very cooling sensation to the body as well, including the mouth. That's one of the reasons we use peppermint. But it is extremely, extremely effective. Now, what I would have you do next, if we were all together, is there would be a little bit of residual peppermint left on the palm after that drop. You could take it and you could massage it into your temples. You could massage it into the back of the neck. Basically, anywhere you had any type of tension in your body, peppermint is a great reliever of that. And again, you would notice how impactful it was because it cools the body almost on contact. It doesn't take long to wait for the reaction at all. Okay, so that's important to note. It's also important to note that when we talk about safety, doTERRA is really unique in this respect. So doTERRA tests every batch of their essential oils 54 different ways. Every single batch, 54 times it's tested. And I want to tell you why, because I know that seems like extraordinary lengths to go to, and it is, but because this company is based on the concept of potency and purity, it's necessary that this happens. Most essential oil brands on the market these days have been contaminated in some way. That is to say that they have residual, maybe pesticides or plastics or contaminants of some kind are found within the essential oils. There's lots of information on this should you wish to pursue this on your own. And as a side note, we really encourage you, after you learn a little bit here tonight, definitely take this and pursue some of this on your own. Do your own due diligence. We're just feeling fortunate to be able to plant a few seeds with you here right now. But 54 different times, doTERRA will test every single batch to make sure it is extremely, extremely pure. That's important because they source their ingredients from all over the world. So, you know, that is an important piece because that's also telling us that the plant that we're harnessing that immunity from is grown in its indigenous area. So it's grown in the right soil, it's harvested at the right time. It is, it's being manipulated by people who understand how to work with that plant. All of those things add up to the highest possible quality that you can get. So there is a standard that's associated with that. And that standard is called CPTG. It stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And every bottle of doTERRA's essential oils have this certification on them. That is, if you left this conversation not knowing anything else, I hope that that's the thing that you take away, because without that standard, I want you to know there is no other standard for making sure that consumers are getting a safe and potent product. So there's no governing body that controls the safety and efficiency of essential oils in the industry. Nothing exists. So in the absence of a standardized way of testing, doTERRA created one. So they are literally the oil company that has set the bar in terms of safety and efficiency. So that's worth noting for sure. You can see peppermint depicted here. I'll just give you a few more tidbits about peppermint. We know it's energizing, it promotes clear breathing, it cools the body, as I mentioned before, and it does relieve tension in such a beautiful way. I used it yesterday. I was reminded of how well it works. Applied it to my temples and the back of my neck. Absolutely brilliant. Let's move on to the second cool thing about essential oils, and that is that they are more effective. In fact, they're more effective than most modern approaches to health problems today. And even when I say that, I know what I'm saying sounds so bold. So I do love the opportunity to share, basically paint the picture for you of what I mean. So if you are a medical professional, first of all, you have my absolute gratitude. It's limitless, because you are doing extraordinary things in these extraordinary times. So thank you first. Let's start there. But I want you to give me a little bit of grace right now, because I'm going to take us back to Biology 101 just to be able to paint the picture for all of us and help us understand how essential oils really work more effectively than modern approaches to healthcare these days. So if you will, let's pretend my fist is a cell in our bodies. And we know that we've got about 75 trillion of these in our entire body. Every single cell is coated with an oily cell membrane. Okay, I know this is very simplistic, but it's easy to understand like this. Bacteria likes to live on the outside of that cell. And the reason that the cell membrane even exists is to keep away harmful invaders like bacteria and virus. So bacteria, like I said, likes to live on the outside of the cell, where virus likes to live on the inside of the cell, where it continues to replicate the DNA and create problems for us, right? So if you were to experience one of these issues, if you had a bacterial infection, for example, and you went to your physician, and chances are 99.9% of the time, you're going to get a prescription for an antibiotic, right? You'll take that antibiotic, and it'll probably be for anywhere between 7 to 10 days. And it's very likely it will work very well and clear up your issue. But it's not without its side effects, right? It can cause a lot of disruption in the gut. It certainly lowers your immunity. It throws off hormones. So the side effects they're significant. If you were to have a viral infection and you went to see your physician, what typically happens is you're sent away. There's not much that can be done in the case where you're presenting with viral symptoms, right? And we know that virus lives on the inside of the cell. We talked about that. So typically your physician will suggest that you go home and get a lot of rest and drink a lot of fluids. That tends to be the recommendation. The reason there is no solution for that viral intruder is because most modern health approaches or prescriptions right now are water-based molecules, water-based synthetic molecules. So what did we talk about already was the fact that every cell is coated with an oily cell membrane, and today's modern approaches are water-based synthetic molecules. So we remember back in the day, we learned that water and oil do not mix. So that water molecule cannot penetrate the cell membrane to get inside the cell and kill the virus. Here's where things get exciting. For me anyways, I hope it excites you too. Essential oils are different. They are oil-based. So what that means is that they can penetrate that oily cell membrane. They work on a cellular level. So that means that they penetrate the oily cell membrane, getting inside the cell where they are antiviral. They kill the virus inside the cell. We also know that essential oils are antibacterial, many of them. So not only can they kill the bacteria on the inside of the cell, the virus on the inside of the cell, but they can also kill the bacteria on the outside of the cell with no side effects and no addictions. This is why I emphasize the second cool thing about essential oils being that they are more effective to most of the health problems, the normal, most common health issues that we experience. Pretty powerful stuff. Now, you'll see pictured here really our most beloved essential oil blend at this point. It's always been a big favorite. It's called On Guard. It's our protective blend. You guys, this one has grown in popularity. I think it's 800% or some crazy number like that. In our current health environment, we're looking for solutions that really are impactful, and On Guard has shot through the roof in terms of its popularity. You can use it aromatically, topically, and internally. It's great for promoting immune function, great for treating things like sore throats, great for cleansing not just the body, but your entire home, the air you breathe. So it's definitely one to write down. I'm going to move on now to the third cool thing about essential oils, because we already know that they're safe and natural and that they're effective. Now I want to let you know that the third cool thing is that they are in fact more affordable than traditional medical care. And here's what I mean by that. So if you live in, it depends where you're watching me from, right? Medical care is going to mean something different to you, but let's assume most of us are Canadian and our healthcare is free. The visit to the physician is free, okay? But if you have ever been unwell or had a child or someone you're caring for that is unwell and have to get them to the physician, that typically requires you to take a morning or an afternoon from work. That costs you money. There's gas that you have to put in your car to get to the physician's office. And then that's before we even give any consideration to the fact that it's pretty likely you're going home with an antibiotic of some kind. And we know that there are side effects to manage from that antibiotic that you need, right? So chances are you're needing to invest in 2 weeks worth of probiotics just to get your body back in balance after you use your antibiotics. These are costs that all add up. And I love to share an example with you to paint this picture a little bit further. So I mentioned I have kids. My daughter's a competitive swimmer. So if I can give the example of her, swimmer's ear infection. I don't know if you've ever had that in your home. It's somewhat common in our home. Before I knew about essential oils, my go-to strategy would have been to take her to the physician to get the antibiotics to treat the problem, right? And as I mentioned before, that can be costly. Now, however, because I have essential oils right in my home, I literally have the solutions to most problems in my home. And let's face it, especially if you're a parent, you'll laugh at this, because kids always seem to not feel well or get sick at like the worst times, like the middle of the night, right? So anyhow, getting back to this, so she presents with symptoms of an earache. What I would do now with my oils is I would use 2 drops of lavender and 2 drops of tea tree oil, and I would massage it around her ear, and I would actually bring that down onto her throat, and I would put her to bed, because we know sleep is so extraordinarily healing for the body. I've applied lavender, so that's going to support her in getting a great night of sleep. And when she wakes up the next day, her ear infection, it will be gone. I've seen this happen many, many, many times. And those 4 drops, those 2 oils that I use, that would have cost me a combined total of 64 cents. So that is the example I love to share to illustrate the affordability. So it's pennies per dose. You save all kinds of money when you add up the number of uses that are just employed in your own home. It'll look different for all of us. but it's something really worth thinking about. So lavender, I mentioned in my example, I just want to kind of put a punctuation mark on the lavender. It is calming. You can think of lavender like the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. It does a lot. And as you begin to discover, you're going to think, wow, I wish I had known this back when. You'll think of lots of examples. It's not only calming for the mind, it's calming for the body. It helps slow the central nervous system down. It's calming to the skin. So if you experience breakouts of any kind, your skin's misbehaving in some way, it's usually related to stress. So lavender helps on a variety of levels, but on an external level, it really helps soothe the skin very, very quickly. It's beautiful. I'm going to move on, but before I do that, let's just quickly recap. The 3 cool things about essential oils are that they're safe and natural, that they're effective, and that, excuse me, and that they are affordable. Now we're going to talk for a moment, well, more than a moment. We're going to talk about the 3 ways that you can use your essential oils. The first way, I feel certain that you already know about this. This is the aromatic usage of your essential oils. And if I'm being honest, this is probably the #1 way that most people begin their essential oil journey. Now, using essential oils aromatically does a lot of great things for you. It changes your mood if you're using a good quality therapeutic oil. It cleanses the air that you're breathing, and that is extremely important, as we know. And the essential oils support the respiratory system, all major factors, especially right now. And I sometimes get some feedback on this idea of using essential oils aromatically as therapy. And I just want to illustrate for you how effective they really are, how effective your sense of smell is as it relates to your health and wellness. I want you to think, we're going to use a medical example right now. I want you to think back if you've ever had surgery of any kind, or if you know someone who has had surgery. When they've gone into the operating room, they've needed to be put out or knocked out, whatever you want to call it. They get into that operation room and they're not given a needle. They're not given a pill to get knocked out. Instead, what happens is the physician will place a mask over their face and they're asked to count to 10 or count backwards to 1 or something like that, right? And usually in a very short amount of time, you're completely knocked out. If you haven't experienced it yourself, you've heard somebody talk about how quickly that actually works. So think about that for a minute, because this is exactly the way essential oils work. So if you were to place your fingers on the bridge of your nose right about here, you are actually locating the start of your olfactory system. It's your sense of smell. And the olfactory system is directly connected to your limbic brain. That area of your brain is where the endocrine system, and you don't have to remember all this kind of stuff. I want you to understand the pathway. Inside that limbic brain is where the endocrine system is receiving messages and then sending them out to the rest of the body. Every organ in your body, and this is something worth pursuing, do your due diligence on this. Every organ in your body has something on it called a smell receptor. There's probably a much more sciencey name for it, but I'm sticking with smell receptor. That's on all of the organs throughout our body, just waiting to receive information. So in the example of surgery, that message is received by the brain, heads out to the body, and the message is to shut things down. That's how you're knocked out so quickly. But it's received initially through your olfactory system. This is how the oils work. The only difference really is that instead of breathing in that synthetic chemical or that synthetic molecule, you're now breathing in a natural volatile compound, but it works the same way. Received through the olfactory system, taken into the limbic brain, messages sent out to the body. So you can receive messages to relax or to become energized. There is a variety of messages that the essential oils, the chemical constituents, are able to provide to the body. Okay, so that is how effective smell is in working with you in terms of your health and wellness, right? It's more than what you thought. Okay, so we'll move on to the second way, which is using your essential oils topically. This, my kids tell me this is their favorite way to use the oils. Um, Using essential oils topically is a beautiful way to make sure that actually when you break it down, you're really getting the benefits twice, because you'll apply it to your body, to your skin, and you'll be breathing in the aroma. So you're taking it in topically and through the respiratory system, right? So it's double impact. But what's nice about this is you can apply the essential oils diluted, and I'll talk about that in a second, directly to the area that you want to receive the benefits. Okay, so if you have an achy elbow or sore knees or tension, I mentioned tension before, applying essential oils to the tense areas, you can do that. Dilution is important, however, because I mentioned sensitive people before, how you can use essential oils on everyone, but you want to be mindful of sensitivity. Here's where we get specific about this. You want to remember to dilute oils so that everyone can enjoy them without having any kind of sensitive reaction to them. Diluting is so simple. You can use something like fractionated coconut oil. That's my favorite one because it just absorbs into the skin nice with no residue. But you can use avocado oil. What are some of the other ones? I'm at a loss right now. Jojoba. There's a ton that you can choose from just based on your personal preferences. We can help you with dilution ratios and all that kind of stuff. Basically, what you need to know is you mix it with the carrier oil and apply it to the skin. It makes it more effective. One, because it's not allowing that essential oil to sort of do what we call flashing off, because essential oils go from a liquid to a gas. They evaporate off the skin. We call it flashing off. When you dilute it, it sticks to the skin and has a better opportunity to be absorbed through the skin. So it's great in that way. And then the second benefit, obviously, is that it reduces the sensitive reaction that can occur if you were to just use the essential oil straight up. There are many you can use straight up, and there is directions on each one of our bottles. So don't worry that after tonight's class, you'll be left to figure things out on your own. It's totally not the case. This is the tip of the iceberg. And then you're partnered with whoever invited you to tonight's class is your direct contact person. We plug you into resources and we make sure that you feel really certain and confident about using the oils and getting started with them with your family. So never worry in that sense. The third and final way I want to talk about using the essential oils is likely the way that you didn't realize you could use them. Or in some cases, we hear this quite a bit actually, I thought I couldn't use essential oils internally. So let's just solve that little mystery right up front. As doTERRA essential oils, doTERRA being the key word, absolutely, they can be used. We recommend you use them internally. There's so many benefits, health benefits to using the oils internally. Now, if you remember back to me when we were talking about potency and purity, I can't say with certainty that this is the only reason you may have been told not to use them internally, but if oils are not regulated and there's a potential for pesticides and plastic contaminants and residues of other kinds in that bottle, perhaps that's the reason we haven't been allowed or have been advised rather to not use essential oils internally. It gets me to thinking for sure. But some of the great ways that you can use doTERRA's essential oils internally are like this. You could put, in fact, my water right now has a single drop of lemon essential oil in it. I love citrus oils in my water. It takes one drop. It's wonderful. It tastes really good. Everyone in our family uses it that way. Now, there's going to be some oils that you might get perhaps in a collection or what have you, and you won't love the taste. I'm just going to be honest with you. You won't love the taste. So another way you can take it internally is to invest in this great product. We call them veggie caps. They're like $5 or something ridiculous for a jar of them. They're depicted here. And you break them open. You put the drop of the essential oil of your choice, close up the capsule, and consume it just like you would any other supplement. So that's another great way to use them internally. And then third way to use them, I do this with two oils, frankincense and copaiba. I will put them directly under my tongue. So those capillaries under the tongue, they receive that essential oil and they get the message out to every cell in my body really, really quickly. So that is one of my favorite ways to use it, actually. So internally is definitely a way that you can use these oils. And we are truly the only brand that can say that. Okay, so those are the 3 ways to use them: aromatically, topically, and internally. I'm gonna buzz through these really quick because I feel like I've mentioned a few of these already, but just to call attention to some of the options that are found mostly within our starter kits. I'm gonna show those starter kits to you in a few moments. So I hope you have a pen and paper, because what I'll have you do is just write down the kit that you like the looks of the most. We're gonna talk about health priorities in a moment. So the idea is that we're gonna match up the best way to start with your personal health priorities. That seems to be, the best way to get anybody started with anything, is meet your needs. So let's crack into this. Lemon, I've mentioned a couple times. It's great for cleansing the body. It's a great detoxer. Great for cleansing your home as well. Frankincense, my beloved frankincense, it promotes calm feelings, superb for anti-aging. So a lot of people use this. They'll add it to their skincare, or many people have replaced their skincare and now use frankincense. It helps cells perform optimally. It helps with cell regeneration. So you really start to notice changes in your skin in particular right away when you start using Frank. Digest Zen. In Canada, we call this one Zengest, and it is good for, I just want you to think all things related to digestion. So nausea, any kind of stomach issues, constipation to diarrhea, everything in between. This is the oil that provides that relief. The next one is Deep Blue, and this is like our, I was gonna say tension blend, but that's just not it. It's like aches and pains and muscles that are sore. So anyone who experiences that either from working out or from maybe a chronic condition that you suffer with, this helps support relieving some of those uncomfortable feelings. Breathe. In Canada, this one also has a little bit different name. It's called Easy Air in Canada. And this one is our respiratory blend. So it promotes clear breathing day and night. We often put this one in our diffusers at night just because it's so pleasant. It really opens up the airways. Again, great for workouts, great for any time when you need to take a really deep, cleansing, healing breath. So yogis love this one also. It's not just for respiratory distress. It's great for just promoting clear airways. Wild Orange. I swear my mouth waters every time I mention Wild Orange. I love this oil. You can't take the lid off without feeling happier, first of all. It's very invigorating. It's just so wonderful. There's lots of practical uses for it, but it is extraordinary in terms of its ability to alter mood. It's fascinating to watch it happen. So at this point, I only wanted to show you just a few oils because I think you probably gather we have a lot to talk about, but not all the time in the world. So at this point, I'm just going to grab myself a drink. I'm going to get you to take that pen and paper and just simply think about and write down, if you can, 3 of your top health concerns or priorities. If your health priorities aren't necessarily about you, maybe you're caring for someone else, those count as your priorities. It's things that you're looking to solve for, okay? So most often what we hear is stress, sometimes digestive issues, sleep issues, hormone balancing, mental wellness. These are all very common ones. Perhaps those match where you're at, but if it doesn't, write down the ones that really resonate with you. So as you're doing that, I'm just going to let you know that the reason we have you do that is the person who invited you tonight wants to circle back with you and just have a conversation about how they can, like I said, meet your needs. So it's a great conversation starter to understand what your priorities are. So get really honest about that. I'm going to move on. I can't teach a 101 class or an Oils Made Easy class without highlighting this product. So at doTERRA, yes, we are an essential oils company, but it's interesting to note that our #1 selling product is actually not an oil at all. It's our daily supplements routine. So we call it LLV for short. It stands for Lifelong Vitality Supplements. And you guys, this in and of itself should be a class, can be a class. Definitely talk to your person, your direct contact person about this collection of supplements, because they're extraordinary. So if you're someone who already supplements, you're perfect for this, because you probably understand supplements. You have a frame of reference. You would know how to compare the results of Lifelong Vitality against other things that you have used. You're the perfect person for this. If you're not somebody who is currently supplementing, then I want to encourage you to give it another try. If you're anything like me, I used to not supplement. And it wasn't because I didn't have them in the house. It was because I would fall off the wagon. I would just fall out of the habit of taking them. And there's a million different reasons why, and each of us is unique, but I wasn't religious about taking them. So what I want you to know, whether you are or not a supplementer yet, is this product comes with a full money back guarantee. It just means that there is zero risk in trying it. So if you're looking to improve your health and wellness, and really who isn't right now, or any time, but particularly right now, you try this for 30 days. And if it doesn't give you a boost of energy or help relieve discomfort in the body, and you've used it exactly the way it's prescribed, then you get all your money back. So there really is no risk whatsoever in giving this a try. Now, a couple of reasons I love this is because the supplements are based on just immense research and science, food nutrition, coupled with the power of essential oils. And this really connected with me because I thought I understand oils a little more than I did the food nutrition in the beginning. The reason the oils are so important infused in these is a couple of reasons, and then I'll move on, I promise. The oils that are added really support the digestive system in being able to digest, I guess is the best word, digest the supplements. Many times people will start with supplements and it creates stomach aches or creates discomfort of some kind. And sometimes that's the reason you don't continue with your supplements. The essential oils that it's infused with are designed to settle the digestive system while the supplements are being digested, or while the food nutrition is being absorbed. The other reason the oils are so important is that they actually make the product more bioavailable. Most of the supplements, I shouldn't say most, many of the supplements on the market these days are, you take them and you want to believe that they're doing good for your body, but chances are you're seeing evidence of it. You're peeing it out, you're peeing the goodness out. And that's not a great thing to know, that you're wasting time and money. That's not the case here. The bioavailability is higher with Lifelong Vitality supplements than what you're taking now. And there's no risk in finding that out for yourself. I'll move on. There's 3 ways to purchase doTERRA essential oils. And the first way we're going to skip over completely because it is the most expensive way to do it. You can do it. So if you were at a spa or chiro office or something like that, and they carry doTERRA, they have to charge full retail for it. So that's full pop. There's a better way to do it though, and that's a wholesale membership. So the best way for me to describe a wholesale membership is by comparing it to Costco. You know how at Costco you'll pay a membership fee, and then they don't care if you come and buy every single day or if you come once a month. That doesn't matter. Their focus is giving you as a member visibility to the very best products, really great products, always at wholesale prices. That's the same with this doTERRA membership. So there's no maximums or minimums or anything like that, just always wholesale prices when you're a member. So you always get at least 25% off. Now, the third way that I want to share with you is absolutely the smartest way, hands down, to get started. This is buying below wholesale prices. So you would do that with one of our starter kits. The starter kits, just by their nature, you know, anytime you buy something bundled, it's always less expensive. That's the case here. And I'm going to show you the bundles in just a moment. But you get a free membership. So when you start with the bundle, the membership fee is waived, and that's $42. Okay, so there's value right there. And if you were to break down each of the oils, they're less than what they cost as a wholesale member. Plus, when you're a wholesale member or buy with the starter kits, you get access to the community. So you get access, you'll know about promotional activity. You'll know about, like, we're in the midst of BOGO week. All of our members are the first ones to know about that. They get access to, like, by the minute sort of information. You're really part of the community, truly. And you get lots of education. So as much as you want to learn, they'll just keep feeding it to you. So do be prepared for that. I mean, it is a beautiful way to feel very certain with your investment. I'm going to show you some of the kits. And as I mentioned before, I hope you just have a pen and paper. You'll notice that there aren't prices next to these because people watch from all over. So with UK prices and US prices and Canadian prices, I just want you to focus on what's within the kit for right now. So thinking about what you wrote down as your top 3 health priorities, which one of these kits is going to help us solve or point you in the direction of meeting those particular priorities. So if you wrote this one down right away, you're kind of like me, it's the big gun. It's our natural solutions kit. So it's kind of full complement. It has many great oils, our top selling oils. It's got personal care products. It's got products to clean your home. It's got a diffuser. Basically, if you're looking to completely clean up your lifestyle and get on the right track, this is the kit you want to move forward with, Natural Solutions. The next one is available in the US. It's beautiful, and I share this with you again because I have people watching from various areas. As Canadians, if you're Canadian and you want this, we can get this for you. It's just you're paying in US dollars. Healthy Essentials kit. This one is beautiful, also with a diffuser. It has our new mental wellness blend in it. It also has our copaiba in it, which is relatively new to our collection. Really beautiful. I've been talking to a lot of people about this one lately because, you know, we're all mindful of our budget right now, and we're all trying to get into lifestyle routines, but we're being mindful of value. So this is one that I like to share with people who are in that situation. So these bottles are smaller than any of the other kits. It's hard to tell with the picture, but these are 5 ml bottles, whereas every other kit is 15 ml. So keep that in mind, okay? The Healthy Start Kit. Basically, think of this one as the ultimate sampler kit. Comes with a bit smaller diffuser, although I love this diffuser. I travel with it. It's got a really pretty little light on it, and it runs up to 10 hours. So it's a nice kit. Yeah, and I'm just going to reiterate, the membership comes free with any of these kits that I'm showing you. The Healthy Habits Kit, we just last week got this back in the Canadian side of things. Before, you could only buy this in the US. Now, as Canadians, we can get our hands on it. So look at this fun little number. It's got the Lifelong Vitality supplements in it. It's got the Deep Blue Rub. We talked about Deep Blue being great for pain and discomfort. It's got 5 of our top selling oils, just the little guys again. It's got our digestive enzymes. And I'm going to point one thing out, one thing that's different with the Canadian kit versus the US. In Canada, we don't yet have the PB Assist in our kit. That is our probiotic, and Health Canada hasn't cleared that yet to be in our warehouse. So that's not quite there. Soon, but not yet. Healthy Home, live a non-toxic lifestyle. Pretty self-explanatory, lots of great oils, lots of tools to clean your home and get started with personal care products, and that sweet little diffuser that I mentioned that I love that runs for 10 hours. And we also have Simple Solutions. If you're looking to start very, very basic, this might be of interest to you. 4 key products. Deep Blue represents the solution to pain and discomfort. Lemon would be your detoxification health pillar. On Guard would be your protection or your immune boosting pillar. And Serenity is a blend that we use for rest and sleep. Okay. What we love to suggest with this one is that this one was designed to be customizable. So based on what your health priorities were that you wrote down, we're going to recommend that you add stuff to this stuff. Very professional sounding, right? You're going to add what meets your needs. Maybe it's copaiba. Maybe it's adaptive, the mental wellness blend. Maybe you like the idea of adding the Lifelong Vitality supplements to this. It's totally your call. but very worth customizing for yourself, and you get that membership built in. Now, I mentioned before, as a member, you always know about cool promotions that that we have happening. Right now we have the precious florals throughout, well, until they're sold out. I can feel a tickle brewing, guys. Good thing we're almost wrapped up here, right? You always have access to, we have like a discounted product each month. So this month we're able to get 10% off of Melissa and Yarrow Palm. And I didn't mention this at the beginning, but probably the person who invited you to this class did. This is what we call a Diamond Club class. So should you decide to get started with one of those great kits after you follow up with your contact person, if it meets the 100 PV criteria, and that's not hard to do, there's only one kit that doesn't, that was that customizable one, but you'll add stuff to that one. Any one of those starter kits, we're going to increase the value. So we already talked about you getting a free membership and getting everything less than wholesale. Now we want to give you a gift on top of that. It's Citrus Bliss, which to me, I always describe this one like summertime and creamsicles, right? That kind of, to me, that creates the exact vibe of Citrus Bliss. Beautiful in a diffuser. Whenever it's going in our home, people do, when people used to be allowed to come to our house, they used to always ask me what we had going on in the house. Now, if you decide to go with something larger, a lot of people are right now because they're just really interested in flipping their lifestyles in the right direction. If you go with one of those larger kits, you're going to get Citrus Bliss plus the Adaptive, which is our new mental wellness blend, and is really grabbing the world's attention because the impact that it has just by breathing it in is really, really powerful. So please know about that. There is one little catch to this, and you guys should know about that because I don't want you to miss out on it. Tonight is the Diamond Club class, which means we have tonight, and then we would have 3 nights from now while this offer remains eligible. Okay, so if you need a night to think about it, absolutely. If you're not going to be circling back with your contact person until tomorrow, that's cool. The offer still applies. Now, what will go away today is the BOGO offer for today. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but we're in the midst of what we call BOGO week, which is buy one, get one free. And every day the offer changes. So today I have been so busy with people asking questions about BOGO and getting started with their kits and adding the BOGO to their kits. So if you're the kind of person who's really intent on value, you need to know this. If you were to enroll tonight, you would get your Citrus Bliss, you get your free membership, but you also have a chance, if you wish, to add spearmint to your order. And in getting spearmint added to your order, you would also get a free full-size bottle of lemon and a free full-size bottle of eucalyptus free. So you get three bottles of essential oils basically for free when you choose the kit that you like best. It's awesome. Tomorrow, the BOGO will change. So if tomorrow's the day you're going to land on your decision, I can give you a little hint about tomorrow. So the spearmint deal will go away, but tomorrow we know that you will have an opportunity to buy Rose Touch. Okay, so that's one of my favorite oils. It's the queen of oils. You buy Rose Touch, but we don't know what the freebie will be tomorrow. So if you buy today, you have the chance to get today's BOGO. Tomorrow, it'll be something completely different. Okay, so do bear that in mind. I am going to conclude because I promised you that I would have this wrapped up in a really timely fashion. And I know that many of us it's funny how we have all this time and yet our days have become almost fuller than they ever were before. I'm totally with you on that. So just a real super quick recap. There are many ways to get started. The kits by far, I would release the idea of ever buying retail. I would even release the idea of starting just with a wholesale membership. Why would you pay $42 when you can have it rolled into a kit of products that we can teach you how to use really, really effectively, even if right now you're not 100% sure how to do that. And then as I mentioned before, you just get plugged into all of the resources that we have available to you, and they are plenty. So I want to say thank you to all of you for joining me tonight. Again, I know time is one of the most precious things. So thank you very much for carving out a little bit of your time to be here with me tonight. I hope you've learned a little bit. I hope if you're already an essential oil user, we've been able to highlight some of the knowledge about doTERRA specifically. And if you're brand new to oils, I hope tonight was really enlightening for you. So I'm going to wish you a great night, and thank you very much for hanging out with me. Thank you guys so much.
Becca.